Good morning, Philadelphia Eagles fans, and good morning, NFL fans, to a very significant week 8 of the 2016 season, where our Eagles, coming off a great victory against the Minnesota Vikings, traveled down to Texas to play Sunday Night Football against the NFC East division leading Dallas Cowboys. Now, remember seeing my video last week, and I said very specifically, you cannot let Sam Bradford sit back there in the pocket and pass it all day. We know exactly what Minnesota's going to do. They're going to play tough defense, hand the ball over to the offense, and just try to play consistent. A lot of teams have tried to been running the ball on us, and then set that up with the play action pass and try to win. I urged for Jim Schwartz to go back and look at some video from Jim Johnson, Bud Carson, Buddy Ryan, you name it. Play tough defense and get after Sam Bradford, because we know him. We know that he's not mobile. I didn't believe that he had the heart to win in the first place. And if you get after him, it will rattle him, cause him to make a lot of mistakes, and hand the ball back over to our offense and grind out a victory. And I'll tell you, that's exactly what we did. Certain players woke up, like Connor Barwin. We haven't heard that much from him this year. We did on Sunday. Brandon Graham has continued to play very well in this 4-3 defense. He got him after as well. But our defense as a whole, for the most part, held them all game long. Yeah, Minnesota scored a touchdown at the end of the game that didn't mean anything, just to pad stats. So really, we held Minnesota to about 3 points. And came away with a victory, knocking off the last undefeated team of the NFL. But this is our big test this week. This is our biggest test of the season so far. And it's a very significant test. This game is more than just about who's going to lead the NFC East. This is about which team is going to assert their will on the other team, both knowing exactly what the other team's going to do. Dallas, as we know, Tony Romo got injured early, and nobody wishes injuries on anybody. I really do hope, Tony Romo, that you can play with your kids in the future or whatever it might be. I mean, your back's killing you. You're a warrior, but he has not played this whole season, which forced fourth-round pick Dak Prescott to play. Much of the same as like Carson Wentz. Everybody thought, okay, a rookie is going to go through some rookie growing pains along with a rookie running back. Have a good day, guys. But it hasn't been anything but the case, because Dallas has been set up very well for years to come because of their offensive line. I very much enjoyed, as an Eagles fan, watching Dallas make very bad decisions when it comes to drafting, and I was hoping they were going to draft Johnny Manziel, but instead, no. Over the last couple of years, they've been drafting offensive line, and it's been paying off. And you can see that with a year like this year, where they are able to draft a running back early and a quarterback later, and it both work for obvious reasons. When you're sitting in a situation like this, when you're able to run the ball effectively, like Ezekiel Elliott's been doing all year long, it sets up so much more for your offense, and it forces a defense to respect the run to the point that you no longer can get pressure on the quarterback. Then that quarterback can sit back and pass it even more just as safety blankets in Beasley and Witten. And it takes pressure off your defense. And that's exactly what Dallas has been doing all season long. We know that it's coming. We know that they're going to run the ball. And the Eagles gave up more than 200 yards against Washington. So Dallas is definitely going to try to use that recipe to beat the Eagles this week. Their defense is not that great. It's not. But if their offense controls the clock and forces us into a position where they know we're going to pass it, that plays into a strength of theirs, predictability. So what do we have to do? I think our game plan is pretty close to what we just played against Minnesota. We almost have no choice but to go after Dak Prescott. You almost have no choice but to blitz and run blitz as well. and get Dallas off the field early. We also have to get a lot better about these penalties. We cannot play mistake-ridden football this week. We can't afford to have 4 turnovers. And of our turnovers this last week against Minnesota, I'm not going to kill Carson Wentz over having those interceptions. I'm not, because a quarterback that's idolized Brett Favre is going to go for it. And I'm glad, I'm happy, and he's not scared. He's not just going to fold up and say, oh, I'm not going to go after a team. I want my quarterback to go after the opposing defense. So I'm okay with that. What is concerning me is Ryan Matthews. My concern is he's starting to put the ball on the ground more and more. We can't have that. And we have enough other running backs like Barner, Smallwood, and Sproles to maybe give him a rest and refocus a little bit, just a little bit. So can we play get back to mistake-free football that we started the season with, and the reason why we started 3-0. Josh Huff. I personally like Josh Huff. I do. And he provided an absolute spark of what we needed. Minnesota just scored a field goal, and Josh Huff came right back and scored a touchdown. Absolutely awesome job, because that's how a team wins, when offense, defense, and special teams contributes. And Doug Peterson. I like it when you go for it on 4th down. I really think this week you should take a page out of Andy Reid's book when we played them early. I think it was in the early 2000s or so, where he started off the game with an onside kick. What I think we got to do is set the tone early in Texas. That's right, in Texas. We got to set the tone early saying, hey, look, we know you're winning the NFC East right now. We know that you have a really good offensive line and a really good tandem of quarterback and running back. We know what you're going to do. If you're going to beat us, you're going to beat us because you're executing a whole lot better than us, because you want it more. But not because we're going to sit back and let you dictate to us what you're going to do during the game. We're coming after you. Just like we did against Minnesota. Yeah, I know it's going to be a little different because Dak Prescott just a little bit more mobile than Sam Bradford. But I think you still need to come after him. Say, we're coming after you. We're going to force you to make some quick reads. Go to your obvious safety blankets, and we're coming after them too. What I hope is we show that same passion and energy that we just did against Minnesota.
I want to win.
Go down to Texas and get a win. So it's Dallas week here in Philadelphia. 3 simple things. Stop the run, get after that quarterback, and come home with a win. Go Birds. E-A-G-L-E-S, Eagles! Beat Dallas.